Welcome to the Daily Stoic Reflections, where wisdom meets action. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful tools you can use to protect yourself and live a meaningful life: Stoicism. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 warning signs that show you're dealing with malicious individuals. These aren't just abstract concepts, these are real-life scenarios that can help you better understand the people around you and, most importantly, understand yourself. Trust me, you'll want to watch until the very end. This video is packed with insights that could change the way you navigate relationships and approach challenges. So, grab a seat, take a deep breath, and let's explore the Stoic way of seeing through the darkness. 1. The urge to control. Stoicism teaches us that the highest form of control is self-mastery. True power lies in controlling our emotions, actions, and reactions to external events. A Stoic understands that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. This is where the distinction between a person who seeks control out of insecurity and someone who seeks self-control becomes essential. Now, let's take Jack as an example. At the beginning of his relationship with Julia, Jack is attentive, caring, and protective, qualities that, on the surface, seem loving. However, over time, what Julia first interpreted as concern gradually turns into something much darker. Jack begins to dictate who she can spend time with, criticizing her friendships. He expresses disapproval over her fashion choices, insisting that she dress in a way he finds more appropriate. He even starts micromanaging her free time, constantly checking in on what she's doing and with whom. This doesn't reflect love, it's the result of Jack's own deep-seated fears. His constant need to control Julia is driven by insecurity, not affection. In his mind, if he can control her actions, he can keep her close, prevent harm, and protect their relationship. But this protection isn't rooted in genuine care, it's rooted in a fear of loss. He is projecting his own inadequacies onto Julia, and in doing so, he restricts her freedom and autonomy. Instead of trusting Julia, Jack is trying to control the uncontrollable. This is a textbook example of how a malicious individual operates. The idea of control, when taken to extremes, becomes a destructive force in relationships. It builds walls of mistrust and causes emotional harm. Jack's insecurity has turned into a tool of manipulation, and Julia, over time, starts to feel the pressure. The damage isn't just emotional, it can also severely erode her sense of self-worth. From a Stoic perspective, Jack's actions are not expressions of love, but of fear. True love is not about possessing or controlling another person, it's about freedom, trust, and mutual respect. In Stoicism, we learn that control must always begin within. We control our own emotions, not the behavior of others. If we let our fears dictate our relationships, we lose sight of what truly matters: personal freedom and mutual respect. Recognizing this dynamic allows us to step back and assess whether we are allowing someone's need to control us to shape our reality. Are we giving in to someone's manipulation under the guise of love? The Stoic response is clear: do not allow the urge to control to distort your relationships. Instead, focus on mastering your own reactions and maintaining your peace. 2. The mask of charm. There's something captivating about someone who seems to radiate warmth, kindness, and charisma. They have a way with words, a smile that lights up the room, and an ability to make you feel like the most important person in the world. You may feel an immediate sense of connection and admiration for them. But what if I told you that sometimes, that charm isn't a sign of sincerity but a carefully crafted facade? A mask meant to hide darker intentions. This is something Stoicism warns us to be mindful of. Take Mark, for instance. At first glance, Mark appears to be the model colleague, a businessman with a friendly demeanor, always ready to lend a helping hand. He's the kind of person who seems to genuinely care about everyone around him. He listens attentively, shares stories, and offers assistance without hesitation. He is the type of person you'd want on your team, someone who builds camaraderie with ease. You might even feel lucky to have him as a friend. But as time passes, you begin to notice something unsettling. Mark's acts of kindness always come with hidden conditions. For instance, he offers to help a co-worker with a project but later hints that the co-worker owes him something in return. Or, he'll go out of his way to offer assistance, only to later use it as leverage to advance his own agenda. The help he offers isn't free, it's a calculated exchange. His charm, it seems, isn't a gesture of goodwill, it's a tool, a strategic move in his manipulation game. Mark's charming exterior is nothing more than a mask, carefully constructed to disarm and gain trust. Behind that warm smile is a person seeking to gain power, control, and personal advantage. This is the classic manipulation tactic of using charm as a weapon. Malicious individuals often hide their true intentions behind a veil of affability and kindness. They know that charm can make people lower their defenses, making it easier for them to achieve their goals, whether those goals are personal gain or influence over others. The Stoic approach to this situation is clear: stay vigilant and aware. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-awareness and discernment. Charm, in itself, is not a negative trait. In fact, it's a useful social skill. However, when it's used as a manipulative tool, it becomes a weapon. The key is to look beyond the surface. Pay attention to the patterns of behavior. Are the acts of kindness unconditional, or are they followed by demands? Does the person's charm come with hidden motives? By understanding the intent behind charm, we can protect ourselves from falling into the trap of manipulation. Stoicism encourages us to practice careful observation and question the motivations of those around us. The next time someone seems too good to be true, ask yourself, is their charm genuine, or is it part of a strategy to influence me for their own benefit? This level of awareness can help us navigate relationships more wisely and avoid being manipulated. 3. The absence of empathy. Empathy is the cornerstone of human connection. It's what enables us to step into someone else's shoes, to feel their pain, and to respond with kindness and understanding. Without empathy, relationships crumble, and society itself becomes fragmented. The ability to care for others in times of need is what makes us human, what binds us together. It is this simple, yet profound understanding that forms the foundation for meaningful, healthy interactions. But what happens when someone, particularly someone in a position of power, lacks this essential quality? What happens when they show no regard for the well-being of others? Imagine this scenario: a dedicated employee, let's call him John, has been working hard at a company for years. His loyalty and commitment have never been questioned, and his performance is stellar. However, one day, John faces a personal crisis. A close family member has fallen seriously ill, and he needs to take time off to care for them. So, he approaches his CEO with a simple request: some time off to attend to his loved one. The response he receives is cold and heartless: work comes first. We can't afford to let this slide. You need to be here. In that moment, John's humanity is completely disregarded. His personal needs, his family's crisis, and his emotional distress are all overshadowed by the demands of the workplace. The CEO's lack of empathy in this situation is a glaring sign of their inability to connect with others on a human level. Rather than showing understanding, offering support, or providing an alternative solution, the CEO chooses to prioritize work over the well-being of a valued employee. This isn't just a bad managerial decision, it's a reflection of a deeper moral flaw: the absence of empathy. A malicious person, at their core, doesn't just lack empathy, they actively choose to disregard the emotional and physical needs of others. Whether it's a leader in the workplace or someone in your personal life, the absence of empathy is a clear warning sign that you're dealing with someone who lacks the basic human decency required for healthy relationships. When someone shows no care for your struggles, no recognition of your pain, and no understanding of your challenges, it's not just an oversight, it's a deliberate rejection of your humanity. So, How does Stoicism help us navigate these situations? Stoic philosophy teaches us that empathy is not a luxury, it is a necessity for building trust and maintaining integrity in our relationships. The Stoic response is to recognize when empathy is absent and act accordingly. When faced with a person who consistently fails to show compassion, Stoicism urges us to walk away. Whether in business or personal life, we are not obligated to stay in relationships where our basic human needs are ignored. In the face of someone lacking empathy, Stoicism encourages us to uphold our values. Recognize that empathy is essential for any healthy relationship, and do not waste your time or energy on individuals who refuse to meet this basic standard. By doing so, you not only protect your own well-being but also set a clear boundary showing others that empathy is non-negotiable. In the end, it's not just about walking away from toxic individuals. It's about recognizing the power you have to choose who you allow into your life. You have the agency to nurture relationships built on mutual respect, understanding, and empathy. And when you encounter someone who lacks these qualities, Stoicism teaches us that the best course of action is to move on, focusing your energy on the people who truly value and care for you. For the web of lies, in a world where trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, lies serve as the invisible poison that can unravel everything. Some people are masters at deception, weaving complex webs of lies that are difficult to untangle. These pathological liars don't just tell one or two falsehoods, they create entire narratives, distorting facts, changing the truth, and manipulating others to serve their own agendas. But no matter how elaborate these lies may seem, they always contain inconsistencies, holes, and contradictions that, if examined closely, reveal the truth. Take Anna, an accountant at a large company. She's diligent and meticulous in her work, and her sharp eye never misses a detail. One day, while reviewing some financial reports, she notices something odd. The numbers don't add up, and certain figures seem inflated. Her colleague, Tom, has been reporting numbers that don't match up with reality. The discrepancies aren't small, they seem deliberate, a strategic effort to make Tom appear more successful than he really is. As Anna digs deeper, she uncovers that Tom has been exaggerating his accomplishments in order to climb the corporate ladder, misrepresenting his role in major projects to give the appearance of greater achievement. At this point, Anna has a choice. She could react emotionally, becoming angry, upset, or offended by Tom's deception. After all, Tom's lies not only undermine her own work but also have the potential to harm the company and her colleagues. But instead of giving in to her emotions, Anna takes a step back. She channels the calmness and rationality that Stoicism teaches, and instead of confronting Tom with anger, she begins to gather evidence. She collects the necessary data and documents, carefully comparing reports and looking for more inconsistencies in Tom's claims. By staying focused and objective, Anna is able to expose the lies without being drawn into the emotional drama. She presents the facts in a clear, measured way to the higher ups, allowing them to see the discrepancies and investigate the matter further. Her stoic approach prevents her from getting caught up in a web of negativity or reacting out of frustration, allowing her to handle the situation with dignity and clarity. In doing so, she doesn't just protect herself from the fallout of Tom's lies, she exposes the truth, preventing further harm to herself, her colleagues, and the company as a whole. This is the power of Stoicism in action. In the face of manipulation and deception, Stoicism doesn't call for retaliation or emotional outbursts. Instead, it encourages us to maintain control over our reactions and to deal with lies calmly, rationally, and with a clear mind. When we confront lies with facts and logic, we shine a light on the deception, revealing the truth for what it is. When dealing with pathological liars, the Stoic approach is not to get swept up in the emotional turmoil they create but to rise above it. By staying composed, we not only protect our integrity but also ensure that we're never manipulated by the false narratives others may try to weave. The next time you find yourself in a situation where someone is trying to deceive you, remember, The Stoic way is to seek the truth with clarity, resist the urge to react impulsively, and let the facts speak for themselves. In doing so, you will not only protect yourself but also help expose the lies that might otherwise go unchecked. 5. Mastery of manipulation. Manipulation is one of the most dangerous weapons in the arsenal of a malicious individual. It's a subtle art that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. These individuals understand human nature deeply. They know our weaknesses, our desires, our fears, and they exploit them with precision. They know exactly how to flatter you to make you feel special, how to appeal to your ego, and how to make you feel important. But beneath the surface of their compliments lies a hidden agenda: control. They know that once they have gained your trust and admiration, they can subtly shift the dynamics of the relationship to serve their own purposes. Flattery turns to guilt, and guilt becomes their tool of control. They might say things like, "I only want what's best for you," or "I've done so much for you, don't you think you owe me this?" Before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of emotional manipulation, constantly trying to meet their demands while feeling a sense of obligation that wasn't there to begin with. Imagine someone in your life who always seems to know exactly what to say to make you feel guilty. Perhaps it's a close friend or family member who tells you, "After everything I've done for you, how could you say no?" At first, it feels like a harmless plea, a request made out of love or concern. But over time, you start to realize that these requests are really demands, and every time you give in, you feel a little less free, a little less in control of your own life. This is the mastery of manipulation at work. The manipulator plays on your emotions, twisting your sense of responsibility to make you feel compelled to act in ways that benefit them, not you. The manipulator's goal is never true connection or mutual respect, it's control. And the danger is that, over time, you may start to lose sight of what you want and need in the relationship, as their influence begins to take over. So, how do we deal with this kind of manipulation? The Stoic response is clear: remain grounded. Stoicism teaches us the power of self-awareness, of understanding our own emotions and reactions. When faced with a manipulator, it's essential to assess the situation with clarity and distance. A Stoic doesn't allow themselves to be swept up by flattery or guilt. Instead, they stay rooted in their values, their sense of self, and their boundaries. Take the example of Sarah, who is constantly flattered by her boss. At first, the compliments seem harmless: "You're the best worker I've ever had," or "I don't know what I'd do without you." But soon, Sarah realizes that these compliments always come before a request: "I need you to work late again, and you can't say no to me." Sarah feels guilty for not meeting these demands, and over time, she becomes exhausted, overworked, and resentful. But one day, Sarah remembers the teachings of Stoicism. She recognizes that her boss's flattery is a tactic to manipulate her emotions. Instead of feeling guilty, she remains composed. She calmly reassesses the situation, understanding that her value is not determined by her ability to meet every request, especially when those requests are meant to exploit her. With clarity, she asserts her boundaries and stands firm, no longer allowing the manipulator's influence to control her. This is the strength that Stoicism offers us. It teaches us to recognize manipulation for what it is and to resist it with inner strength. When we remain grounded in our self-awareness, we avoid being exploited. We don't let the manipulator's charm or guilt sway us because we understand that true power lies in our ability to choose our actions, not in succumbing to the influence of others. The Stoic approach doesn't mean being cold or indifferent to others, it means being wise and discerning in our relationships. We can still be compassionate and loving, but we must also protect our autonomy and well-being. By maintaining clarity and self-control, we can avoid falling prey to those who seek to dominate us through manipulation. This inner strength, this ability to remain centered in the face of external pressures, is what sets us apart from those who seek to control others. In the end, Stoicism empowers us to face manipulation with confidence, to protect our boundaries, and to live authentically, free from the influence of those who seek to control us. Conclusion. So, how do we protect ourselves from malicious individuals? The Stoic philosophy offers us the tools we need: self-awareness, emotional control, and the wisdom to recognize the signs of harmful behavior. Stoicism doesn't just teach us how to avoid toxic people, it teaches us how to grow stronger in the face of adversity, how to build meaningful relationships based on mutual respect, and how to stand firm against manipulation. As you move forward, ask yourself, are you allowing someone's control to dictate your actions? Are you letting charm blind you to manipulation? And most importantly, are you protecting your own peace by recognizing these signs? If this video resonated with you, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. Have you encountered any of these signs in your life? How did you handle them? I'd love to hear your story. And remember, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Daily Stoic Reflections to stay tuned for more insights into living a life of wisdom, strength, and inner peace.